Cecilia?
Please repeat the question.
No, just feedback in terms of like how you found the session. Yeah, was it beneficial or did it suck? Did it not? Haikukusaidia ama ilikusaidia? I think I would just like to get some general feedback on how this has been.
Okay. So for me, I'd say the dots are finally connecting. I've been in rooms where the strategy is being communicated, and I'd say this huge spreadsheet of content, and we would, I'd be quote unquote a cog in the wheel just to make sure the implementation is done. So with what I've learned today, these are frameworks and tools that can be applied in any industry, in any business. So I'm feeling very equipped to now get into rooms and authoritatively contribute and speak something. Because the fact that we are here means this is not common knowledge to everyone. So I'm low-key feeling like I've acquired a new superpower going into the year. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Cecilia. Bedan. Bedan.
Yes. I think, as I said earlier, I think it was very insightful. From my side, I didn't know why it would take all that time, but it makes, now looking back, it makes sense. I think it was useful because all the pieces were connecting, and it would have been it would not have made sense if we were to stop at one of them. So I think this was really useful, and I'm really looking forward to the materials.
Thank you, Bedan. Maureen, you're next.
Okay, first, thank you for the session. It was insightful. It's now more clear. Just an ask in your next session, or I don't know, because I've read a lot of your articles. I don't know if you've done articles on strategies versus tactics, because sometimes I feel like in most of these strategic sessions in some organizations that maybe I've attended, people, instead of discussing strategies, we are discussing tactics, and we assume they are strategies. Yeah, so maybe I don't know if you've done articles on that, strategies versus tactics, and if you have case studies that we can read about. And then another thing is the question: are you going to share the presentation that you've done?
Yes. I'll share both the presentation and the recording. I think, okay. Cecilia, yeah, you missed the first part. You'll be able to see it. And I think to what you're saying, Maureen, the main difference between strategies and tactics, a tactic mostly looks internally. It's a plan, like this is what we are going to do. Yeah. And from that plan, like you find from the plan, you have the budgets and its execution. But there's one thing that you cannot control. You cannot control a customer. You can only control a customer potentially when maybe umefika place sasa wewe ndo monopoly. Yeah, if you're a monopoly, then you have advantage. Yeah, but if you're not a monopoly, then a customer has the freedom of choice to be able to choose what better fulfills their need. And that being the case, then it means you have to be able to look at the external environment and figure out how does that then now affect the decisions you make, the things you prioritize, before you actually now come up to the tactics / the plan of execution. So usually unapatanga watu wengi wana focus na planning. All we're doing is just planning.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. So that's the issue. Kwa sababu unacheki kwa ile process yetu action plan that was actually the last thing. Yeah. So maybe I need to do more on that. I think I started out na vitu za product na marketing, hizo ndio nilikuwa na zimenisaidia at least to get my name out there. But now at least pia nahakikisha najaribu kuhakikisha pia na sort side nyingine ya the things that keep an organization running. So thank you for that feedback. Wanjiku, you're next.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mark, for such an amazing session. Sometimes we take these things for granted, where you just wake up and make a plan without really going into the depth of it. And it was amazing to have it broken down into stuff that even a shopkeeper can understand in their own right, which is very important, especially in business and even for those of us in employment. You're able to then be on the other side of the coin. If someone else was making strategies and you are not understanding, then you're able to understand what were those mistakes that they were making. And even in opportunities where you're given a chance to, voice out some of these things, they can easily be passed on to stakeholders and really just change the mindset of the entire organization. So thank you so much. I loved how interactive it was and practical. So good job, good job.
From a fellow coach, very much appreciated. Thank you. Esther, wrap us off.
I don't know what I enjoyed most, the playlist or the sessions. Both were great. I think for me, I loved how interactive it was and practical. And I also loved the aspect of getting to see like what happens behind the scenes when the management is setting strategies and goals and where they go wrong. And most importantly, I think it has given someone the understanding of, once you realize that the team perhaps is not understanding the OKRs and the goals, now what can you do on an individual level, especially if you're not inside the rooms and you are the individual contributor as opposed to someone who's involved in the strategy stuff. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think the homework I have for you guys, we started the session by doing some diagnosis. Yeah. And that diagnosis revealed a couple of things to you. So, and we've also covered how to run a strategy workshop. So we've said you need to first start with reflection, figuring out where you are, the things you need to do, what to improve, what lessons have you learned, and so on. So that diagnosis that we've done, in addition to the visioning and the purpose exercise that we've done, I'd say you now have at least not all the tools, but a few good tools that as you're going now into the next strategic things, before you actually now come to the plan, you have a chance to actually reflect and figure out, okay, this is the vision in terms of like what I want to achieve. This is my North Star. If I can break it down into just what do I need to do this year to get success? And then now looking at the assessment, the diagnosis that you did, you can see where you are struggling, what you might need to fix first before you move on to the next. Then now you can come up with a plan that actually gets you closer to what you want to achieve. So keep those things very close to you. They will help you as you move on to the next phase. Personally, I'm very grateful. I think you spent 4.5 hours with me. I really appreciate it. I think meeting professionals like yourself and getting to learn more about your journey, it makes a very big part of why I do this, and being able to feel like I'm contributing as well and being helpful. So you're also helping me to achieve my vision. So thank you very much. Yeah.